Welcome to M&M Global TV and the Cannes Lions Creativity Festival, and I'm delighted to say that I'm joined by MEC's Global Chief Executive, Charles Courtier, who has taken some time out of his diary, and we've come to the MEC Cabana to talk about this year's festival and what MEC is up to at the moment. How are you finding this year's event?
Well, hot. But Cannes just never ceases to amaze all of us, I think. I mean, every year we come here and every year we think, at some point it's going to get smaller and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think that it's a very, continues to be a very vibrant thing. But I think sort of from a theme point of view, I think the festival continues to sort of catapult into sort of digital data, storytelling in general. I mean, I know that's always been a theme, but I think it continues to catapult more and more into digital data technology, and then where that coincides with creativity. And I think that's the big issue in our business, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And new types of companies coming to the festival. You only have to look at some of the yachts to see there's different ad tech companies here, and the kinds of conversations, the kind of meetings you're having here, has that changed from Cannes over the years?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think that I think it was very dominated by really quite traditional creative conversations for many, many years. And I think it really has now, changed in terms of the mix of the people here, the type of companies. And as you say, it's this big cross section of technology, data, and then creativity, and those it's become very forward-thinking conversations, which I think is why so many of us are here, because you've got all this. All this future of the business crushed into one place, and desperately everyone trying to have a conversation with everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. And what kind of conversations are you trying to have? What's the if you have a purpose or an ambition for MEC's presence this year?
Well, I think it's a few things. I think that we're here for the same reason that most people are here, and that is to have those conversations. So one, with our clients, because our clients are here in large numbers, of course, with the tech companies that you talk about, so that we understand and play a part and help to influence what the development of this technology is, so it's developing in a way that's useful for us and for our clients, and also the media companies. Are here in large force as well, and so they are, of course, a very important part of that discussion, especially the whole, the new economy media companies that are here that dominate much of Cannes now. It's very important that they are part of that conversation, and we're part of their development too. So I think that we're here for pretty much the same reasons that everyone else is. I think we've added something to what we do now. We are a founding sponsor of the Lions, the Innovation Lions, and I think that's very important. And I think tomorrow we show Emoji Cannes, which really is our take on that cross section of creative technology and data. So you need to go and have a look at that tomorrow in the Palais. And then I think lastly, I think we're using Cannes importantly for the development of our talent. So we've brought sort of 15 of our sort of high potential, young, most talented people from all over the world. And we've brought them here to Cannes to be inspired by what's going on, to contribute to what's going on, and then go back to their countries and with the motivation and the inspiration that they've had from Cannes. So I do think for us anyway, now going into the future with Cannes, I think we will use this more and more as a showcase for our young talent, both to to contribute to Cannes, but also to be inspired by what's going on in Cannes.
And is that a key element in terms of trying to make this industry appealing to get young people coming in? Because there's no element of the industry where talent isn't, not necessarily a shortage, but certainly it's competitive to get the right people. And something like bringing them to a place like this where they can see all this inspirational stuff raises the reputation of the industry and of the agency. Yeah,
totally. And I think that it's all about talent, and I know everybody always says that, and but I really mean it. And it really is all about talent, and it is more and more. You know, the talent needs in our business and the speed that it's moving have never been greater and never been more complicated or more diverse. So we have to attract a lot of new skills, young new people, into this business where perhaps they wouldn't typically have thought of this as an industry to come into in the first place. So I think that's a huge onus on us in this business to find that talent and attract it in. And I think that Cannes is one of the ways to do that. But I also think that for us with MEC, I think I feel so strongly about it. I think that you have to ask yourself what's the purpose of MEC. So there are lots of great media agencies and they can all do their job really well, there's no doubt about that. But when I look at MEC, I sort of ask myself, well, why does it exist? And the answer to that, I think, is built around growth, and it's about the growth. The reason it exists is about the growth of our people, so the development of that talent, and I don't just mean professionally, but you're developing their lives and their happiness and their futures. So the development of that talent is one. So the growth of talent. Secondly is the growth of our clients' business. For obvious reasons, that's our core existence, and if our clients are successful, then we will be too. And then lastly, it's the growth of our industry. So I think we should have a responsibility to push the boundaries of this industry and to make it more exciting, to break new ground the whole time. And all of that is about talent. So I think that's sort of, the reason that we exist.
Yeah, I mean, for an agency like MEC, it sounds like there's so many fronts that you're not necessarily fighting on, but you're trying to improve, and client relations, understanding of consumer behaviour changes, all the technological innovation, recruiting and retaining talent. Isn't it exhausting?
Yeah, bloody well it is. And you're absolutely right. We are changing the wheels on a bus going 1,000 miles an hour, and yes, it's exhausting, but it's also really exciting. It's also really inspiring, and I mean, again, it's another cliche, but it's an extraordinary time, to be in this business, and but you're absolutely right. The onus on us to stay one step ahead of the developments in the communications world is a big ask. And and we're all trying to do it, and the demands are huge, but it's what makes it interesting. It's what makes it interesting,
and it keeps you fresh and it keeps you inspired.
Yes, it definitely does, and it's what's bringing all this new talent into the industry. So we've been talking about these young people and the different diverse talents that we need to get into this business. And they are coming into this business. I think that when I look at what the makeup inside is of MEC or any typical media agency for that matter, what it looks like today compared to 10 years ago, yet let alone 15 or more years ago, I mean, it's radically different. So I think we should be pretty proud as an industry over what we are achieving. I think we are changing at great speed, and I think the talent that is being attracted into this business is really genuinely different, than just a few years ago. The trouble is, of course, it's never enough, and however fast we're changing, it's never fast enough either. But I suspect that that will always be the case to one degree or another.
Yeah, absolutely. In a few days' time, the curtain will come down. The good people of Cannes will be allowed to get on with their lives, and the advertising community will go back to their respective homes, and the build-up will begin to another Cannes in 2016.
Yeah.
And what over the coming 12 months are you particularly aiming to achieve for MEC? Is there anything that you over the next 12 months really want to crack in terms of if it's a type of, sort of innovation, or if it's types of talent we were talking about? What's your priorities over the coming 12 months?
I think one would be talent. So it's about the development of the talent that we have, but also acquiring that new talent that we've talked about. And I mean, I think that's the core issue in the industry right now. I think when you talk about the types of talent, digital and data, it gets talked about an awful lot, and rightly so. But it's also a talent with real strategic ability. So the strategic leadership ability and talent that I think is incredibly important, because those are the people that shape actually what all the specialism does. They're the ones that make sense of this is what the communications program is, this is what the platform is, this is where we're trying to take this brand from here to here. So I think the digital and data space and technology in general is incredibly important, but sometimes we're forgetting about those strategic brains that are the ones that complete the story,
yeah.
that create the storytelling and the narrative of everything that's going on, and make sense of it, and have the ability to navigate our clients through the communication chaos that's going on. I think the other part, probably, if you talk sort of a year from now, is structural within an agency. I mean, today, more than 50% of our revenue comes from digital or data activities in one way or another, and that's grown massively, as you can imagine, over the last 3 or 4 years, particularly. So, but I expect that structural change to continue to motor ahead, and so I would think in a year from now, the makeup of our business in terms of where the revenue is coming from and the activities that we make that create our revenue will continue to change the structure of our business. Mm-hmm. And in the end, it has to sort of be led by that. In the end, our structure needs to mirror the needs of our clients, and I think that's ultimately what happens. So I think it's just a question of how fast that train moves between this Cannes and the next Cannes, and I imagine it's going to continue to move pretty fast.
Absolutely. We look forward to another 12 months of the roller coaster ride.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate you
welcome.
talking to us. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the festival.
Thank you.
Thank you.